Since it is winter, you are probably planning your garden. We have few strategies to grow more in less space, and we want to show you a couple of examples, especially with container gardening. So on April 30th, we were able to get the first harvest of radishes. As radishes were getting done, the peas kept gaining height, and by June 2nd, we started harvesting peas. We had multiple good harvests of peas. As our peas were winding down, the beans and cucumbers were getting started. We are trying this strategy with almost all of our containers and garden beds. Here is how we made it. In March, we will sow our radish or transplant lettuce plants. And like we mentioned, we can fit 9 lettuce plants in 1 square feet. We will let these plants grow till mid of May. Once it is time to transplant tomato plant, we'll harvest the plant in the middle and plant in the tomato plant. The tomato plant would still be small and doesn't need the whole square feet just yet. As the tomato plant keeps growing in size, we keep harvesting the lettuce plants around it slowly one by one. By the time the tomato plant would gain reasonable height, we would have harvested all of our lettuce and radishes. We will use the same strategy during fall as well, when our tomato plants would have reached their full size. For us, it would be around end of July or August. We will direct sow turnips or transplant kale plants under tomato plants. The shade from tomato plants will protect these seedlings from summer heat, acting as nursing crop. In September, when the tomatoes will be done, instead of pulling the tomato plants off, we cut tomato stem at root level, leaving the roots in the soil to let it decompose. By now, the kale plants would have established and weather would have cooled down. With the tomato plants gone, the kale and turnips will get more sunlight and would continue maturing to provide a fall or winter. We are trying this strategy with almost all of our containers and garden beds where one crop follows the next fast enough. I just spread the seeds in June-July time period under the tomatoes that were growing here. The shade of tomatoes protected the turnip seedlings from heat, and in September, once the tomato plants were gone, the turnips started growing big. But if you're planning to start a garden this year, check out this video on how you can make a raised garden bed for $0.